When you say what you feel, will they look at you and laugh? When you know what you've learned, will they stab you in the back? If you fall from where you're standing, will they try to make the save? When you stand on what you're saying, will they listen as the road you pave? When the time is yours, the future's waiting, the person you become, the people you're creating. That was a poem, guys. That was a poem by Jeff Hardy, and it's called The People You're Creating. Now, obviously, poetry is a form of art, and all different kinds of art can be taken in differently by different people. What that poem means to me compared to what it can mean to you, or what it can mean to any other person, is completely different. Opinions vary, and people take in things differently. But after reading that poem, and after sitting back and I kind of thought about it for a second, it made a lot of sense to me. And what honestly seemed like he was getting at, when he wrote that, is he's wondering about how he affects the lives of others. Now, if you guys don't understand, don't know who Jeff Hardy is a professional wrestler. He's been a professional wrestler since he was 16 years old. He's in his 30s now. He's been wrestling for a very long time, guys, almost 20 years. I've been following his career pretty closely, throughout my life, because he came, he's most notably well known for his time in the WWF/WWE, in that general area, that general time frame. And he's pretty well known for that, and that's how I started watching him, because I used to watch wrestling a lot when I was a kid. And so he became like a big inspiration to me. Like, when you're a kid, you idolize everybody. Like, you guys know what I mean? Like, everyone idolizes everybody. Like, when you're a little kid, you see someone that does something cool, bam, that dude's your hero. You're like, dude, that dude's the fucking man. I'll be just like him. The same idea kind of applies here for Jeff Hardy. And so Jeff's always been like a constant, I don't know, I want to sound like a fag, but, like a constant source of inspiration for me, I guess. Just the way, he presents himself, the way he acts, the things he does. It's just inspiring to me, and it kind of brings up the whole topic of this video. It kind of definitely brings up the whole topic of the video, is why do I go by Nero? And that's a question I get a lot. I do read every personal message here on YouTube. I do read every tweet. I reply to every message here on YouTube, and one of the more frequent questions I guess I get would be, why do I go by Nero? What inspired Nero? There's a couple ones. People are like, is it after the dubstep artist Nero? Which, to clear some air here, I mean, I guess this would also be an answer for the editing contest. I did an editing contest from our diversity montage a week or 2 weeks ago, or however long ago that was, and 2 people submitted edits that they did, and I didn't like either one of them solely because they used dubstep music. I don't know. I hate people that think that music, is how good someone is with a computer affects how good they are at making music. To me, making music is writing lyrics and performing them, and using an instrument. That's to me, that's music to me. But obviously opinions vary. That's okay. If you guys like dubstep, more power to you. Personally, I don't like dubstep, so that's the reason as to why it's not Nero the dubstep artist. Then there's also video editing software called Nero, and I don't use that software. I never downloaded it. I've never used it. It's not from that either. And for you history buffs, there's a Roman emperor that went by Nero, and he was a horrible person. To say the least. He was most well known for taking Christians, Christian people, and burning them in his garden to provide light for his garden at nighttime. He was a terrible person, so it's none of the above. I go by Nero, and I've always went by Nero, in the online gaming community, I guess. I've always went by Nero because of Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy, to me, was, I don't know, he's just my hero growing up, right? And I can remember sitting there, but mind you, my cousin and I, we were huge wrestling fans when we were a kid. Not so much now. I barely follow it at all, but we were huge wrestling fans back in the day. I remember sitting at his house, like, obviously I knew that I was getting an Xbox within the upcoming week, and he's like, you have any thoughts what your gamer tag's gonna be? I'm like, I don't know, man, Nero something. He's like, what, Nero? I'm like, yeah, Nero, Nero. He's like, well, why would you go, why Nero? I'm like, dude, that's Jeff Hardy's middle name. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, dude, that's Jeff Hardy's middle name. Because obviously, as big a fan as I was, of Jeff Hardy, obviously when you're a big fan of someone, you know a lot about that person, or that, whatever it is you're a fan of, that band, that movie, that actor, whatever. You obviously, when you're a big fan, you learn a lot about them. You look up stuff on them. And I found that Jeff Hardy's full name is Jeffrey Nero Hardy. And that was crazy to me. I'm like, Nero's the coolest fucking name ever. No way that's his middle name. And it is. And that's crazy to me. And so I decided, I'm going to go by Nero. And that's basically, in a nutshell, that's basically why my name's Nero, why I go by Nero. And it's crazy to think about all the things that have happened to me just because my name's Nero. Now this is gonna be dragging back into the poem, which this video is kind of gonna fly in some crazy directions that a lot of you are probably not used to seeing when you watch my videos. But think about this. This is something that just listen. So while I was reading that poem, after I sat back and let it sink in for a little bit, I just it seemed to me that Jeff was writing that poem about his fans. He's worried about he's talking about the person he's become and the people he's creating. To me, it seems like he was wondering, with how big he is and how famous he is, and all the things he's done in his life, how has he affected the lives of others from what he does? Obviously, he's a musician / artist / professional wrestler. He's a jack of all trades, I guess. He does all that. And he's wondering about all the lives that he's affected and all the people he's changed because of what he does. And it's crazy to honestly think about all the different split decisions in life that the complete impact they have on people that you will never meet and that you've never heard of, you'll never ever speak to, and face to face. It's crazy to think about. Let's paint a little scenario for you guys in your head. Jeff Hardy was obviously, to me, in my eyes, he was wondering in that poem about all the people he's affected throughout his life because of things that he's done and whatnot. And one of those people is me. His middle name, obviously he didn't really have any say in his name, but his middle name is Nero. I thought that was such a cool name that I made my gamer tag that. I obviously that escalates, for me, having the name Nero to, I start playing Call of Duty more. I start getting pretty good at Call of Duty. I buy a capture device and I make a YouTube channel. I start posting gameplay and commentary under the name Nero, and where that's become a job for me now and a source of income now. And having almost 10,000 subscribers that I can make a video every day and discuss whatever I feel like with you guys because you guys are interested in me as a person. That's crazy to me, and all of that stems just from his middle name. Now think about this. Let's say his name wasn't Jeffrey Nero Hardy. Let's say his name was Jeffrey Robert Hardy. Would I, if obviously I would have learned that a long time ago as a child, or as a kid, not really a child, but as a kid I would have learned that. And do you think today my gamer tag would be SB Robert because of Jeff Hardy's middle name? No, because I wouldn't have thought Robert's a cool name. I would have went with something different. Let's say, for example, I made my gamer tag Tryhard or something like that. I don't know. I'm just making up this shit off the top of my head. Let's say I made my gamer tag Tryhard, and then my channel would be called NerosCinema, and then all the different things that would come from that. Like let's say for example some people found my YouTube channel because they searched for Nero the dubstep artist, and they ended up finding me instead. And they're like, oh, well, I like Call of Duty. Let's see what this Nero guy has to say. That's a possible scenario, and it's crazy how all these different things can honestly happen. I mean, I'm dating myself here. There was a show back in the day. It was called So Weird. I forget. It was either on Disney or Nickelodeon. Which, mind you, I was like 8 or 9 when that show was in its prime. So I honestly don't remember. But it was a crazy show, and it talked about the paranormal. It was all about the paranormal basically. All different crazy shit that happens that can happen. And one of the things, one episode in particular, it talked about a parallel universe based off the split decisions that you make. Now, the main character is a girl, and she was sitting there at the breakfast table, and she's, in front of her is a glass of orange juice and a glass of grape juice, and which one she picks makes a different universe. It's basically, basically we're splitting this up into 2 different possible scenarios. She looks at the orange juice and she takes it, she takes it, she drinks it, has fine, goes to school, and she's good from there. Everything's great. And then the other dimension, the other universe. She takes the grape juice. Her hand slips as she grabs the glass because the glass wasn't washed right or something. She drops it. It breaks. It splatters. It goes all over her blouse. She has to go upstairs. She has to change. She's late for school. Misses the test. Now she's failing that class. All the different crazy shit that can happen solely off of split decisions. And that's what that poem honestly made me think about, guys. It's crazy to me, all the different stuff that can happen. But I guess, I don't know, man. It's goofy. But I guess this video has gone on long enough. This is a really everywhere style video, but if you guys go ahead and let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys have any heroes? Do you have any idols in life, and why are they your hero? I guess that would be the topic for discussion in the comment section below. But I hope this video made you think a little bit, because that poem made me think, and I'm hoping that I can make you guys think as well. So if you guys go ahead and rate the video, and hope you guys all have a wonderful day.